Good morning, Durham College, and welcome to Dungeon Anthology on riotradio.ca. We've got an absolutely wild show for you this morning. I mean it too, not to fling open the curtains too much, but I had nothing but a fragment of an idea all week long, and suddenly last night it all hit me at once, and here I was, racing around like a madman trying to iron things out. I didn't start writing the script till 6 p.m. yesterday, but that's how I am regardless. Moving on, for those who are new here, Dungeon Anthology is an amateurly written and voice-acted episodic series set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe, with episodes mostly having no bearing on one another. Except for when none of that is relevant. Because today's episode isn't set in Dungeons & Dragons. It's directly connected to a previous episode. So who knows what I'm even doing anymore. Today's episode is Maiden of Sin, Episode 2. Now, if you missed the last one, Maiden of Sin is a concept of my own making, which focuses on characters who all have inherently unique capabilities exploring the mysterious world around them. Now, today's episode is going to attempt a different structure, as I've attempted to write this episode as if it were a play, by breaking it up into sections and swapping in and out my lovely actors. So whenever you hear the musical interlude, that means we're swapping scenes. For the moment, since I've been droning on, we're going to get to character introductions, or introductions in general. For now, we're going to introduce the cast participating in this scene, and we'll introduce the rest once we swap scenes, all right? Now, without further ado, take it away, folks.
You bet. I'm Tanner Smith, and I'll be reprising my role as Tybex. This time around, Tybex will be narrating one of the major scenes from his perspective. Tybex is a goat man who wields celestial magic, and since last episode, has now taken up card games.
How's it going? I'm Bryn Baker, and I'll be reprising my role as Rin Shamrock. Rin Shamrock is a young woman who has luck-based magic. Since the last episode, she's been spending all her time at the Maiden, and has even engaged into a romantic relationship with Zaid.
Hey, I'm Zaid Cathcart, and I'll be reprising my role as Zerge Xerxes. Zerge is a young man who possesses water-based magic. As mentioned a second ago, him and Rin are in a loving relationship. Since the last time as well, Zerge has attempted to take up cooking at the Maiden, although admittedly it's not going that well. Tybex will eat the results regardless though, on account of the goat stomach and all.
Once again, I'm Nathan Arsenault, and for this scene with this cast, I'll be playing the outlaw known as Wavy. Wavy is a suave, cowboy-esque wanderer who, for reasons unknown, enters the Maiden in search of something. As time passes, perhaps we'll see what this mysterious stranger is after. So now, let's begin Dungeon Anthology Season 2, Episode 2, Maiden of Sin 2.
I'm gonna break the fourth wall here. Hello everyone, how have you been? It's been a couple months since you guys were in Zerge's head. Now it's my turn. So anyways, things are going nicely. The Maiden is now a fair share of street cred after we took out that endanger animal. By the way, we did confirm they were safely removed from the house we flooded. Turns out they were really good at holding their breath. After that news broke, plenty of people wanted to check out the Mage Owner bar. Although, I wouldn't exactly say we've staffed the place. Zerge has tried to take up cooking for hungry folks, and Rin has been taking care of our finances. I personally have been in charge of entertainment on the floor, so I've set up a couple tables, and that with some regular old games like euchre and Old Maid and things like that. Now, as far as Agneal, we all came to the conclusion that we'd still need cash flow to keep the place stocked to ourselves, at least, so he's been out there trying to complete as many jobs and commissions as he can using the Maiden's reputation as leeway. He should be back in due time, but for now, he's mailing the odd payment back to us whenever he gets a chance.
Zerge, looks like this guy wants a special.
Coming right up, babe.
As you can see, we're all having fun. Well, we'll have fun laughing at Zerge when he screws up his dish again.
Okay, then we just add this and... you stupid cookware. This is the 8th time this has happened.
This week.
I know, right? I'm genuinely impressed he hasn't burnt down the kitchen yet.
I imagine he almost has, but just keeps dousing it with his magic before you and I notice.
No, really?
I'm positive. There's no way he hasn't.
What was that?
Nothing, sweetheart. You almost got it.
Luck magic time?
Luck magic time.
So Ring casually raised her arms into the scale position, which allowed her to manipulate the luckiness of her target. She'd gotten really good at disguising it to look natural, so you'd never guess she was actively deciding your fate.
Okay, alright. It's like this, and then turn up the flame a bit, and boom. Success.
Great job. Just a little practice was needed, eh?
Yeah, nice try.
What?
I know you helped me. I'm not that gullible.
What? No.
I could see your reflection in the pan.
Uh-oh, busted.
I just wanted to help, alright? I know you're totally capable of it. You just needed some extra help. To be fair, I only increased your luck a little bit, not all the way. It was almost completely you anyway.
I know. I appreciate the help. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where's a fella get a decent meal around here?
Somehow, none of us had seen him, but a tall blonde stranger in a big coat and wide hat had entered the bar. He seemed to be carrying some sort of sword at his side.
Over here, sir.
Groovy.
So the tall stranger wiped his boots at the doorway and strolled in. He took his seat at the bar in front of Zerge and beside where Bryn was standing.
Hey, dear. Wasn't this meal for someone else?
Oh yeah, let me find him again.
Oh yeah, Zerge had left after watching you burn the first one.
Hey, one man's trash will be another man's treasure. Give her here.
Works for me, I guess. Enjoy.
The stranger quietly and graciously ate the meal he was given, and Rin, Zerge, and I walked out of earshot to gossip.
I've never seen a man like that around here before.
He looks too aloof to be a mage.
You think? I suspect them to be a mage more with an aura like that.
I suppose, but what's with the sword?
Actually, yeah. If he were a mage, he probably wouldn't need something like that, would he?
It could be related. I'm a celestial weapon mage after all. It's not unreasonable to think that someone could be supporting their magic with physical ability.
You know, guys, it's a little rude to talk about someone behind their back, especially if they're the only other person in the room.
Wait, but there's plenty of people.
Tybex?
What? Oh, turns out for some reason everyone had left and we just didn't notice.
Sorry about that. I imagine you're accustomed to it already by now. You certainly know how to leave an impression.
Thanks, man. And thanks for the food. Now let me introduce myself. I'm the outlaw known as Wavy.
Not like the whole thing, right?
What?
Your name is Wavy, right?
That's correct, Dollface.
Okay, good. I thought for a second you wanted us to call you the outlaw known as Wavy.
I'm a man of shorter, to the point words, personally.
Good, good. I had an ex-boyfriend who kept wanting me to call them the boyfriend previously known as Kyle, and every time he said it, I wanted to punch him.
Ew, what a weirdo.
I probably would have punched him if I were you.
Nah, it's fine. He ended up breaking up with me for a girl that turned out to be an in-danger animal that can mimic people.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah, I know. Glad I'm free of that mess.
So, Wavy, what's up with that sword?
Oh, this old thing? Been stuck with me as long as I can remember.
Oh, that's nice. Is it an heirloom?
No, I mean it has been stuck with me from the point I woke up onwards. Every time I tried to ditch it, it just kept coming back somehow. So I just accepted it for what it is.
Woke up? What do you mean by woke up?
Oh, this is your first time meeting a sinner, then, I take it.
A sinner? What does that mean?
It's a bit of a long story and not a concise one at that. You guys cool with that?
Well, please, go ahead. I'd like to know more.
Well, I assume you're familiar with the world's creation theory.
Yes, the one about the Maiden of Sin.
That exactly. So the Maiden of Sin recreates the world in whatever image she deems fit, right? To end the classism and all that. To that end, how long do you think this world has been around?
Well, no one knows for sure.
Exactly. Who knows, right? We might never know, or maybe it ain't happening in any order, but no one can figure out how or why the sinners show up.
Show up? Aren't you just born?
Unfortunately not. Sinners are sort of fake humans, if you get me. We're hollow. No blood, no organs, no nothing, not even bones. I kid you not, you could stick a fork clear through me once you break the skin. No one knows how they're even living or why it's possible for them to age, but Sinners are empty husks that wake up with no memory of who they were or where they came from, and for some reason, all have a weird weapon unexplainably attached to their life. Me personally, I woke up as a teenager aboard an airship full of pirates. Been bouncing place to place since.
So you don't know what your real name is, or who your parents are, or anything like that?
Not a lick of anything in this steel trap, unfortunately. I figured if I wandered around enough while making a name for myself, someone would recognize my mug. But I've been at it 10 years with no leads, so maybe it's just not in my cards.
Well, Wavy, not that it's any consolation, really, but you can feel free to chill here as long as you want.
Really? That's real nice of you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. That's what the Maiden is for. It took all of us in.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit of a recent addition myself, to be honest. I've only been around the Maiden a couple of months.
So then you were still wet behind the ears when you guys saved that town then, eh?
Oh, you saw that.
I was standing in that group outside the city when I saw you guys launch over the walls.
Oh man, that's embarrassing.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. You guys were willing to step up when no one else had any ideas on what to do.
I guess so, yeah.
So now, are sinners capable of fighting? It sounds like you guys would be frail.
Not at all, actually. All that lack of internal stuff makes us real fast. Plus, it's not like getting hit hurts, because there ain't really nothing there to feel the pain. The only thing that can really stop sinners is cutting them to pieces, which would immobilize us. For some reason, though, we could still be put together like a messed-up jigsaw puzzle. But hey, I don't make the rules.
That's really cool. Sometime, if you don't mind, I'd like to see what you're capable of.
Sure thing, we'll have a ball of it.
So you came because you saw our efforts then. So is our reputation good as well?
Oh, that's right. It nearly slipped my mind. No, that's not why I came. I caught the trail of one of your buddies a few weeks back.
You saw Agneil?
Nah, I never saw him myself, but I ended up finding a letter from him. It's addressed to the bar, so I'm assuming it was meant for you guys.
That's weird. Why wouldn't he have sent it normally?
You don't think?
Don't get paranoid, Zergay. This is Agneil we're talking about. He'll make it through whatever he's caught up in. He's the Rage Mage, after all.
We should open it to make sure, though.
Good point. May I have it, Wavy?
You bet. Here.
So Wavy passed the letter to Zergay, who then began to open it up and read it for all of us.
Hey guys, I've managed to collect plenty of cash and should be on my way back there in a few days. I've just got a few loose ends to deal with on this last commission. Something about some sort of force that looks over all mages. If I'm not back and you see this letter, I think something is wrong. Don't chase after me though. Hide out for a while. I'll come back when I get the chance.
Oh no.
That doesn't sound good.
Wavy, where did you say you got this?
Some fella had pawned it into a garbage bin out eastways at a guild hall. Seeing as it was addressed to you guys, I decided to pilfer it from the can and make my way this way. Glad to see my gut was right.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this. Now we know we've got to do something.
The letter said we should lay low for a while. I wonder what trouble Agneil got himself into.
Wavy, you didn't happen to see who threw it away, did you?
I didn't get a good look at him, but he had orange hair and a real shifty smile.
Bryn, you wouldn't happen to know anyone with that description, would you?
Yeah, among your weird collection of ex-boyfriends.
Hey, you should do your best not to join that collection, Zergay.
Whoops.
Just kidding, you're already weird. Anyway, no, unfortunately, I can't really think of anyone who fits that bill.
It was worth a random shot.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to throw the close sign up and get us some drinks while we decide on our course of action.
So that's what we did for the next little while, sitting around the bar with some tasty drinks, all while trying to decipher any hidden meaning behind the letter. It seemed really weird for Agneil to write such a thing, and then for this unknown person to throw it out only for another stranger to find it and bring it to our door. This might take a long time to figure out if we do nothing, but unfortunately, that's all we can think to do right now. Though, maybe in another world, we could rewind the clock back and see for ourselves.
And that's just what we're gonna do. If you'll give us a few minutes, we'll get situated and begin Scene 2 of Maiden of Sin 2 after this musical interlude. And we're back to Dungeon Anthology on RiotRadio.ca. As you can see now, I have a different slew of actors beside me, ready to raring to go to continue this lovely little story we've created. But before we do that, we've got to introduce all these fine folks, starting with our returning guest star from last week.
Hi, guys. Hello again. Great to be back, and so thanks, guys, for having me on. I'm Katie Gerard, host of the show DC on Scene on every Thursday at 11 o'clock, so check out that. But yeah, I'll be playing Reviver Mila, Reviver is a young woman with an ability of backwards magic. Whenever she activates her magic, she witnesses time in reverse until decisions and choices and preparedness of what choices her target will make.
How are ya? I'm Trey Hebert, happy to be here. I'll be playing Shin Sin Gumi. Shin is a clever and somewhat smug character that appears to guide Agniel from seemingly nowhere, and has many motives that remain to be seen.
Hi, in this scene, I'm here as well, and if any of you forgot, I'm Tanner Smith. And for this scene, I will be playing Daryl Daisuke. Daryl is a quiet man. He happens to be an archduke of a far-off land. Unpopular amongst his people for varying reasons, though.
Hello again. As you can see, I'm still here and still Nathan Arsenault. For this scene, I'll be playing Agniel Hoenn. For the past few months, Agniel has been trying to make loads of cash for the Maiden. He's just about to finish up until he gets swept away by a bigger plot. And with that, we continue with Maiden of Sin 2.
Freedom to the sinners. We must support them, mages and sinners together.
I kept hearing on repeat constantly throughout Eastern Crown City. Although, good thing there was so much uproar it made making finding a gig really well. From what I gathered, this whole thing about these sinners appearing more and more was making people uneasy. So to stem the chaos before it got loose, this Archduke Daryl made his campaign about supporting them, and boy, not too popular an opinion around here. But whatever, it's not my place to judge these guys' issues. I just want to get back to the bar already. Which is where I would be right now if I hadn't decided to get greedy. I sat in a guild hall, reading this poster that no one would dare even breathe the same air as. It read, "Liberate Archduke Daryl Daisuke. Reward, a buttload of cash, buddy." Problem is, though, it says at least 3 people have to work as a team to do it. And unfortunately, the guys and I had decided that I should do this solo while they ran the bar. So I dwelled on it for a while. I could attempt to get into contact with Tybex's family that's out this way, but it'd take too long there and back, and by then the job could already be gone, so that's out. I guess really my only option is to scout some talent around here. Like a gift from a higher power, though, I didn't have to look far as an orange-haired man with a big smile approached me from behind.
Oh, that looks snazzy. Mind if I give it a look over?
Go ahead. It says it needs 3 people.
That's a bit of a conundrum. Unfortunately, I only know one other person in this city.
Better than me, man. I don't know anyone.
Oh, really?
The smiling man sat down next to me quite casually.
You're a traveler then, I presume?
Yeah, I'm from out of ways, trying to get money for the bar I help own called the Maiden. Have you heard of it?
The Maiden of Sin?
No, not the religious one or whatever. It's a bar. Well, I guess technically it is named after her, so you're not entirely wrong.
Interesting. So tell me, are you thinking about pursuing this job?
The cash would be really nice. Problem is, I got no one to help me out.
Well, I may be persuaded to. On one condition, though. I want your opinion on something.
All right, shoot.
Hold on. This is our legally binding contract together. I want an opinion before we start, and then one after the job is complete.
This is our agreement to work together? What about a cut of the reward?
You can have the reward all to yourself. The other cohort I'll bring along will have no objections either. Deal?
Now look, I don't claim to be the smartest person ever, but taking deals with weirdos in guild halls, not looking for money, definitely has to be top 10 of stupid stuff I've done. But money's a powerful mistress.
So, what do you say?
I'm in. Name's Agniel Hoenn.
Very nice to work with you, Agniel. I'm Shin Sin Gumi.
Cool name.
I'm very proud of it myself.
So, what's this opinion you wanted?
Well, it's just so topical, I have to ask. What are your opinions on sinners?
Never met one, so I don't really have anything relevant to say about them. I'm sure they're just as normal as everyone else in this world.
You think so?
I mean, no matter what they are, does it really matter? Half the world is capable of weird magic anyway, so really, what's the difference?
Good man. That's a very good response. What if you were to meet a sinner?
Cool, I guess. Yeah, cool.
You don't find it weird someone would want to liberate the Archduke from the city he runs?
Have you been outside, man? It's clear as day this place is ready to erupt any second. As far as I care, someone's just trying to look out for the guy. And they're willing to pay me to help. Besides, if I butcher the job, I can just run and never come back.
Good point. I guess you're not tied to the fate of this place if it goes awry. I wonder if that's what these people need.
Not my place to guess. So you're cool with the opinion?
Cool indeed, my friend Agniel Hohen.
Full name, really?
Apologies. You know, some people are just sticklers for manners. Are you ready to convene with my cohort?
Yeah, the faster we meet up, the faster we can get this going. Lead the way.
Gladly. Follow me.
So, I followed Shin out of the guild hall, job posting clenched firmly in my hand so as not to have the opportunity slip out from under me. We walked throughout the streets and we passed hordes and hordes of people, some going about their daily business and others outraged at media transmissions of Daryl. We ascended a small staircase tucked in between two buildings. We reached the top and there sat a little apartment overlooking a lot of the major city streets. Shin knocked on the door with a gentle rap.
Reviver! It's me, Shin. Open up.
The door quietly and slowly opened on its own after Shin had called out.
Don't worry, this place may seem dodgy, but it's cool. Reviver's just odd.
I imagine that comes with the territory of being named Reviver.
A tad for certain. Oh, by the way, if she tells you to do something, do it immediately and without question.
What? Why would I need to do that?
All will be apparent momentarily.
So we stepped inside, and before I could react, a voice rang out from inside the place.
Don't step left.
What? Before I could think about it, my foot landed on something wet.
See? She was just trying to help.
By taking a wee in the entryway?
No.
I imagine it's a pet's.
No, it's mine.
Okay then, this is a great first impression.
You'll understand in a few moments.
You said that 5 seconds ago, and now I'm standing in pee. I'm afraid of what's next, man.
All right. This should be the deactivation point now, okay?
Yeah, welcome, Shinsen Gumi and Agniel Hon.
Was that urine magic? How'd she know my name?
No, the urine wasn't magic. She is, though.
Mind reader?
Backwards.
Backwards? What does that mean?
Would you mind explaining, Shin? I need a moment.
So this is my comrade, Reviver Amelia. Her unique magic ability is backwards magic. So she sets a target and sees events transpire in reverse. And from the activation point to activation point.
So she saw that we'd meet and show up here and peed beforehand knowing I wouldn't be able to dodge it.
I'm genuinely surprised you figured it out that fast.
Well, you know, I'm not that dumb. I'm a pretty capable adventurer after all.
Evidently so. Are you ready now, Reviver?
Yeah, I'm all right now. I always need a minute afterwards to gather my thoughts. It's a lot to process.
I couldn't imagine. Anyway, ready to rescue an Archduke? You saw it backwards, right? So there's no need to explain.
Yeah, I'm already caught up. I've been ready since before you even showed up.
Man, no need for formalities or anything. I like her, Shin.
I'm glad you're so accepting. So, we'll return to the guild hall and officially accept then, yes?
Better hurry. It closes soon.
What? We gotta run then. The sooner the better.
Very eager. Let's be off.
So the three of us rushed down the staircase and into the street. I swear this Daryl guy should be incredibly grateful if we get him out. They're like obsessively listening to the same speech over and over.
Freedom to the sinners. We must support them, mages and sinners, together.
This city must be real boring if all they do is listen to a single sentence of this guy. So we hurried on through the streets, approaching the hall.
Almost closed. Quickly, this way.
Randomly, Reviver swung right and around a corner. Shin followed nearly immediately. I wasn't ready and crashed into somebody.
Agniel, hurry along. This way.
Right, yeah.
Help me!
All right, lady. Jeez, I'm sorry. So quickly dashing after them, I finally caught up and saw Shin and Reviver standing in the doorway to the guild hall.
Only a few minutes left. Hurry, the present page.
Right, Shin, you do it. I need to catch my breath.
Sure, will do.
He then disappeared and returned after a short while.
All set and ready. Although they've provided me a set of writing materials and things necessary to write a letter, I suppose they're worried about adventurers not returning from this quest.
Yeah, right. I'll be fine. You take the letter and write to someone. I'll be heading back to the Maiden right after this gig, so what's the point in the letter?
You're not afraid? And they're worried about you?
Nah, they're not worried about me. They'll know I'll make it through okay.
If you say so.
Well, if you two don't mind, I'm going to take a few minutes to write something out then.
Cool. I'm going to see what kind of idea I can get for breaking into the castle.
Take your time.
I'll go too.
Wise decision.
While I walked away to get a view of the castle, Shin was muttering the contents of the letter to himself.
Hey guys, I've managed to collect plenty of cash and should be on my way back there in a few days. I've just got a few loose ends to deal with on this last commission. Something about some sort of force that looks over all mages. If I'm not back and you see this letter, I think something is wrong. Don't chase after me, though. Hide out for a while. I'll come back when I get a chance. Yes, that looks good. Addressed to the Maiden and gone.
Shin then casually tossed this written letter and walked off towards Reviver and I. Before that, though, her and I were in conversation.
So did Shin ask you anything at all?
Just my opinion on sinners.
I see. Do you trust him?
I don't see why not. He's willing to help, so why not work together?
That's good logic, I suppose.
Why do you trust him?
I don't, but I can always see what he'll be doing before it happens, so to me it doesn't bother.
That's a good point. I guess if I always knew what people were going to do, I'd have trust issues too.
What?
How can you be impressed with them surpassing expectations if you don't have any expectations? You always see what they'll do, so you just adjust yourself accordingly, right?
Well, yeah.
So yeah, you can't believe in people normally that way by constantly moving the goalpost to what you think the best position is.
I've never thought of it that way before.
Well, that's just forward thinking.
He makes a good point.
Shin, how long have you been there?
Very briefly, I only heard Agneel's point about expectations onwards.
I see. You have sent the letter, have you?
Yes, no need to concern yourselves with that. It's all taken care of. Now, I believe I've devised a plan of attack.
Oh, cool. What'd you come up with?
We'll sneak in tonight, since we can't afford to waste any more time. Then from there, we'll go in this way.
Shin explained every detail of his plan to Reviver and I. It took a long time, so I won't bore you with it. Evening had then turned to night, and we were ready to strike.
Reviver, do you remember the passcode combination method?
Yeah, there's a certain amount of combos it could be. I just, for me, the magic determines it from there.
Good. Agneel, you know where to take Daryl once you've got him.
Yeah, I remember.
Very good, you two. Now remember, I'm going to go ahead and distract all the armed guards. Remember, if push comes to shove, Agneel getting out successfully is our top priority.
You don't have to be that fixated on it. I'll be okay.
Agneel, buddy, like I said, your fate isn't tied to the city. I don't want you to be stuck in a place that doesn't require you.
Thanks, man.
Let's be off.
Now, Shin was first off, right to distract the guards, and Reviver was elsewhere. With the castle being so large, it took me a long time to find this Archduke's room. What I didn't know at the time, however, is that Shin had made contact with Daryl before I was even remotely in the area.
It's you, sinner.
That's not a very nice thing to call someone you know.
I don't care, you rat. Everyone hates me now because of those things you made me say.
Were they really that egregious to say to begin with?
They weren't, but that's beyond the point. A good leader doesn't unnecessarily stir the pot like that unless they want people riled up.
And why would they be riled up?
People fear what they don't understand, sinner. How can you expect there to be those who don't fear you when not even yourselves know why it is the way that you are?
So then, it's fair to say that mages are better, since you guys understand it? Does anyone know why they are born with unique magics?
No, they don't.
So really, both mages and sinners are to be feared then, don't you think?
Well, I agree with you there.
That's an odd thing to say to someone you fear.
It is, but I've never once not cooperated, because at the end of the day, I agree with you.
You're going to continue to listen then.
Hold on. No more speeches for a while. There's a time and place for that.
I disagree. It's our job to make a time and place. Just not tonight, however. You're going to meet a man in mere moments whose job it is to help you escape. Take him to the Zeppelin Cathedral and lift off from there.
The Zeppelin Cathedral? The slowest and most exposed way to escape?
I've had it inflating secretly since this morning. You just have to use the fast lift-off mode.
I see. All right, then. I'll await instructions, I suppose.
Good. And don't breathe a word of this to Agneil, all right? If you spill your guts, I'll make sure they're never returned to you. Understood?
Understood. Have an eventful night, Shinsen Gumi.
You as well, Archduke Daryl Daisuke. Behave.
Shin had quietly slipped away seconds before I arrived.
Ah, you must be an adventurer come to remove me from this place. I welcome your assistance. Please lead the way.
Yeah, time to find the cathedral.
I will absolutely assist in guiding you. Come this way.
We then made a mad dash through the halls towards the cathedral. Eventually, we made it there and Daryl took the lead.
All right, now we have to make sure we're at optimal air pressure. Quickly, young man, over there.
I raced back and forth, completing the task Daryl instructed, as he continued to fiddle with the control panel he uncovered.
Just one last thing and we're prepared for launch.
All right, what's next?
Find something to hold on to.
I quickly grabbed onto a column on the side of the room, and after a few seconds, Daryl threw a switch, and the entire cathedral portion of the castle erupted into the sky, higher than the clouds. Afterwards, Reviver was in a different section of the castle.
All right, almost there. Got it. So now, what's in the room? What in the name of that is holy?
Do you like it? It was a real time cruncher for sure.
Why? Was it all really necessary? To kill all these people? They didn't deserve this? Are you trying to start a war?
These people were killed by sinners. Sinners who broke into the castle Underdark, slaughtered all who came across their path and ran away with the Archduke. The Archduke that supports sinners.
This is crazy. What are you doing this for?
Someone needed to. It's about control.
Control? That's it?
Of course it isn't. But to be honest, I don't feel like explaining it to you because you're not going to be conscious enough to understand it before everything erupts.
Wait. I won't be conscious? Wait. No! Ah!
And I hope you have a lovely evening with that. I'm not going to move onwards to the next scene that requires my attention.
My goal there was to take the Zeppelin to the nearest spot, collect my cash, and make my way back to the Maiden. That was 3 weeks ago. And with that, we'll return the clock back to where it started. We'll return right shortly. And we're back, this time with myself, Tanner, Trey, and Bryn. We returned to shortly after where we had left off with the crew inside the Maiden. Zerge went out into town for something, and Tybex, Rin, and Wavy remained.
I suppose we're really not getting anywhere with this, are we?
It really doesn't seem that way. I wish Zerge hadn't left, though. What if the letter is right and we should hide?
Well, then he's already a step ahead.
A man with orange hair and a big smile walked in the room.
Wait, Wavy, does that guy match your description?
Huh? Oh, shoot, that's him.
You're the one who threw out the letter. Who are you?
My name is Shinsin Gumi, and I come bearing news. Take a look at this.
Shin threw a newspaper onto the bar counter where we could all see. Major Zeppelin crash found miles outside Eastern City. Archduke Daryl Daisuke presumed dead.
Where did you get this?
I picked it up on my way in. I thought I'd be a kind neighbor and grab one for you guys.
Do you have something to do with that?
The crash itself? Of course not. It doesn't actually benefit me in Daryl, and if Daryl and Agneil are dead.
Daryl and Agneil? Agneil was aboard?
Yes, he helped set it up to fly and escape the castle about 3 weeks ago. I have no idea if they survived, and if they did, I'd assume they'd come this way. But it appears they were picked up a carrier boy instead.
Watch your tone, pal. I don't like the way you smile at everything.
But the world is just full of such amusement. Even the slightest things you'd think nothing off can play biggest factors. So no wonder I'm so giddy all the time.
Well, giddy up on out of here then. We're closed.
I see. My apologies. I didn't mean to disturb you guys. I just returned to town for the foreseeable future. Have a nice day.
The suspect man named Shin left quietly and without issue.
We need to find Zergay. I'm worried that man has done something to him.
I agree, although I don't know if splitting up is safe.
I think you two should stick together. He seems more interested in your crew's actions than mine. If you two split, he'll probably try to pick you off individually.
That's a really good point. Tybex, are you ready?
Almost. I'm gonna leave a note in case we miss Zergay.
Great thinking. Can you leave one of your celestial weapons manifested here just in case too?
Great idea. So I manifested one of my various weapons and left it on the counter alongside my note, hoping the glow from the weapon would alert anyone to the note's location. Quickly gathering some necessities, we then rushed out of the Maiden and into the town below, afraid of the treachery of a smile.
And with that, ends Dungeon Anthology Season 2, Episode 2, Maiden of Sin 2. A huge shout out to RiotRadio.ca as always for making this show possible to begin with, and genuinely thank you to all these fine friends and colleagues willing to tolerate my nonsense. Today we were joined by Tanner Smith, Zaid Cathcart, Bryn Baker, Katie Gerard, Trey Hebert, and myself, Nathan Arsenault. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.